Hey, hello leaders, and welcome back to another episode of Run to Your Leadership Challenges. Hey, this is episode 329, and we are continuing with the countdown to number one. And today we're going to cover the 10th most popular downloaded podcast over the first year. And today we're covering this was originally number 218. And it was about leadership blind spots. So I'm going to hit record. Again, this is a video version of the daily leadership podcast, Run to Your Leadership Challenges. And this is the video version, and it's uncut, so you're going to see any mistakes I make. The daily podcast is usually around 2 minutes. It's a little bit longer over the next couple weeks as we recap these top 10 or top 12 downloaded versions or episodes. So here I go. I'm going to hit record. I'm going to give it about 2 to 3 seconds and we will go from there. Here we go. Hello leaders, and welcome back to Run to Your Leadership Challenges. So we are counting down the top 12 downloaded episodes from our very first year to give you a chance to hear a recap of the most popular topics from last year. Today, the countdown revisits episode number 218, which was number 10 on our list of most downloaded and most shared episodes of the year. And it was originally titled Leadership Blind Spots. So episode 218 talked about how blind spots are those irritating things and those irritating habits that we do, and we probably don't realize that we do them, or we don't realize that they're irritating other people. It's the things that we may think are actually a good quality about ourselves, yet the people around us know all about them and just can't stand them about us. The thing is, it's not very easy to get people to tell you about your blind spots. Now, I've worked with a lot of teams to help uncover blind spots in their individuals and within the teams. And one of the simplest ways I've found to get team members to open up to each other is to do an exercise called the fishbowl. Now, this is where you sit down with 5 to 10 team members and designate one person as a facilitator. That's usually me when I'm working with teams. And the facilitator basically helps. It helps if the facilitator does not have a direct tie to the team in any way, shape, or form. So a distant person that you might be able to pull in is always best. Now, the facilitator starts the exercise by asking for one volunteer to be the first one in the fishbowl. Then each team member goes around in order and basically says one positive thing and one negative thing, or one area of opportunity for the person in the fishbowl. Everybody on the team, you go around in either clockwise or counterclockwise, but everybody has an opportunity to say something about the person in the fishbowl. Now, as you do this, you always end by saying a positive, about 3 or 4 positive things, all right? You always want to end on a strong note. Now, you do this with everybody in the group. So it can take a while. It can be time consuming. And that's why it's very important to keep a small group. I found 5 to 6 people usually take about 45 minutes. So keep it to under 10, and if you keep it to under 10 people, you'll be under 90 minutes usually. Now, it's extremely important for the facilitator to keep things on track and don't let things get out of control, because sometimes it can get pretty heated or people can start really digging on other people. And you don't want it to get too deep rooted, but you do want people to be vulnerable here. And oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention, this whole thing, or the whole time people are offering feedback to the person that's in the middle, that's in the fishbowl, the person in the fishbowl cannot speak or comment at all. The only exception is the facilitator may allow the person in the fishbowl an opportunity to ask clarifying questions at the very end of their session, before the next person gets in the fishbowl. But that's up to the facilitator, and it depends on if the fishbowl person needs to ask questions to begin with. Like I mentioned earlier, this is one of the simplest exercises to uncover some of your blind spots. And the more open that your team is, the more effective that it'll be. Now, the facilitator usually has somebody designated to take notes while people are given feedback as well. That way, the person in the middle, the person in the fishbowl, doesn't have to worry about taking quality notes because somebody's got it covered. Now, there are many other ways to uncover blind spots within your team and individually. And the fishbowl, I found, is great for individual and team development. Uncovering your blind spots is a big step towards knowing yourself and others. As you grow individually and as a team, your negative conflict will decrease substantially and your effective communication will increase. So uncovering these blind spots is going to be really helpful for your team. Hey, that's a wrap for today. Please be sure to listen tomorrow as we continue our countdown to number 1. Please be sure to listen tomorrow as we continue our countdown to the number 1 most popular episode from our first year. Please be sure to hit the share button and tell your friends all about this show as well. And please send me your leadership challenges so I can feature them on an upcoming show, possibly a whole week. Send them to Paul Grau, that's PaulGrau, at currentleadershipcoaching.com. Hey, have a great rest of your day, and until tomorrow, run to your challenges. Okay, so that was the video, or that was the podcast version. That was about 5.5, 6 minutes almost. So I'll crunch that down. And like I said, this week is a little longer than normal, but it'll be around 4 minutes probably. You can listen to it on iTunes, Stitcher, Alexa, Spotify, SoundCloud, all that other stuff. So a little bit of extra value here is when you are talking about blind spots are those things that you really aren't sure about in yourself. Those blind spots, it could be as simple as a tick, or, some kind of, it could be if you're talking to a lot of people, you say a lot, or you say okay or all right a lot. I know one thing, one of my verbal pauses when I first started teaching was all right. I said all right all the time. And my trainer, Cheryl, she used to tell me on break, you said all right 50 times that hour. And I was like, get out of here. And sometimes she would tape it and I'd go back and watch it and I'd be like, oh my gosh, that's terrible. So that could be a blind spot. And like I said, sometimes it is not easy to tell other people about their blind spot. So you might want to make sure, tell everybody, get the facilitator. The facilitator is the one who really needs to step up and set the tone here. And they need to get things rolling. And if the feedback isn't getting deep enough, the facilitator should step up and say something. So hey, that's it for today. And come back tomorrow. We're in single digits now. Tomorrow is going to be number 9 on our countdown to number 1. So until then, have a great day and run to your challenges.